Hey guys, welcome back once again. So in this today's session we are going to see about the one more random access protocol, nothing but the carrier sense multiple access with collision detection, right? So in previous class we have seen the what is CSMA, so what is the operation of CSMA, basic operation, then what are the three persistent method we have discussed, right? So those things are required in order to understand the CSMA CD topic. So in the previous topic, if something collision is occurring, we are not detecting whether collision is occurred or not. So in this method we are going to find out whether collision is detected or not. So that is what we called as the CSMA CD, nothing but the carrier sense multiple access with collision detection, right? So see that the CSMA method does not specify the procedure following a collision, right? Now see that we can able to find out collision detection here. So in this method, a station monitor the medium after it send a frame to see if the transmission was successful or not. If successful, the transmission is completed. If not, the frame is what we have to do. Again the information we need to send again, right? So for example, for understanding purpose, CSMA CD. So for example, suppose say that here I have the 4 stations, A, B, C, D, 4 stations. Now what I am going to do is, before going to send the information, I am going to sense the carrier, right? So after sense the carrier, whenever we find the ideal, we are going to send the information. Only point is that at this point of time only A will sense the carrier. It does not know. If now although frame is coming from here, at this point of time it will still remaining ideal, but if frame started here from the D also, it will not be able to identify, because only it will send it this particular point of time period. Now for understanding, right, collision detections, right, so there will be something called as the jamming operation. That is interesting thing we are going to see, right? So now first we will consider some scenarios. Here what is the scenario? This diagram explains us is that we have the 4 stations or 4 system, right? Now what I am going to do is, I am going to send the information from the station A. It means that I am going to send the some frame from the station A to the something station D, something like this, you remember, right? Now one more thing, at the same time from station C also we are sending the information. See that just for trying understanding purpose. So station E is going to send the frame, right? So one more point to be remember here is that, as we discussed in the multiple times, frame is nothing but the multiple of the information, right? Binary information, right? So something 1 1 0 something, this frame consists of the, so we are not going to transmit the entire frame here itself. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to transmit the first bit for the first time. First bit I am going to transmit. If collision does not occur, then I will be sending the second bit, right? Something like this. If collision is not occurring, if collision is not detected, I am going to send the remaining bits also, right? Something, for example, the moment if I am sending the first bit is nothing but the 0, if something is collision is detected, now we will not send this value, right? So the moment it detects the collision, it will make the jamming, right? It means that we need not to send the remaining value, so that we can able to at least escape from the collision here, right? We cannot able to avoid completely, but we can able to detect for the collision. So what is the meaning of this one is that, let us look at that first bit is transmitted. So for example, I am considering the station A. I am going to send the first bit of the information from where, from A to somewhere here for the final destination, right, by the 2 stations involved in the collision. So for example, let us see, so at that period of the time T1, so try to understand some time period at the T1, the station A sending its frame to where, it is sending to the somewhere at the D, right? This point you have to remember. Now A is sending, right? Now C also sending its first bit of the data from towards the left direction as well as the right direction. So like that we have in this example. So it means that at the time period T1, after time period T1, A is sending the data. At the time period T2, the C is sending the frame, first bit of the frame towards the left direction as well as the right direction. Ante this direction as well as this direction. It means that in this example it is going to send the 2 bits of the data, right? Now what will be happen when the T1 is nothing but station A has transmitted its frame, right? So now here it is coming the what it is coming, C is also transmitting its frame towards the right direction as well as the left direction also, right? Now see that although the frame, the first bit of A will transmitted to here. Now see that in C we are sending some data towards the right direction, right? Suppose for example it is coming very fast, right? Now this data is going to the D, something like this. So now here there may be collision will occur, and it will hit. It is faster, it is slower, something like this. So it will hit the A first bit with the C first bit. So at this time period C will understand the collision here, right? Now C is going to understand collision is detected. Now what C will do is it will activate the jamming operation. We will see that after activating the jamming operation means, so it will alert this one, so it will not send the remaining bit of the data. At the same time, now see that one more left data it is going from the C, right? Now this bit is going to the C. Now A is also coming, right? This is only for example purpose, that's it. Now it is coming, right? It is going, right? See, assumption should be everything going on the same channel only. That one point you need to keep in your mind. Now somewhere you will be having the collision here occur, right? So it will detect after some period of the time period, right? At the time period T4 it is going to detect the collision. C is going to detect the collision at time period of the T3. The first point to be remember is that at time period of the T1 A is sending it first bit of data towards the D, right? So next at the time period of the T2 C is sending the data towards the left direction as well as the right direction. So when these two data are going, right, so now what will be happen, somewhere C will be detect the collision here, so it will activate the jamming operation. The same time when C bit coming to the A, here it will detect the collision, so A collision will be detected and operation will be aborted, right? So when it is overlap, then we will be having the collision occur. This thing you need to explain in the exam point of view. So see that here only we are detecting the collisions, right? We are not avoiding the collision. That is a one very important point you need to be noted, right? Now we will see that procedure so that we will be understanding, right? So in the station A starts sending the first bit of the frame at T1, and since C sees the channel ideal, so if it is A is sending, C does not know anything about A, right? It only know at this point of time period, right? So it means that channel is ideal at T2. At the time period T2 it is checking, it is ideal. So it is also start sending it frame at C2. C detects A frame at time T3. At this point of time T3 it identify that collision is occurred, right? So right at T3, so now what is doing, it is going to abort the operation. It means it won't send the remaining bit value, it will stop it, right? So A detects the C frame at the after time period T3, C detected after some time period T4 will be also detected. So the transmission time for the C frame is nothing but this T3 minus T2, right? So for A it is the T4 minus T1, that you have to understand. Now we will see the procedure. The entire process of the collision detect can be explained as the follow, right? So see that first we are going to make the first attempt, nothing but the initial attempt k equal to 0. Now we are going to apply the any one of the persistent method. Either it may be one persistent, a non-persistent, or p persistent method. It means that first we need to sense the channel. If the channel is said to be ideal, then only we need to send the first bit of the frame, right? So for that either we need to use any one of the persistent method. Now once it is completed, now we have this conditional. So what is the conditional means? If transmission done or collision detected. Suppose for example, see, one point to be remember here is that you might be having the confusion. So after finding the first bit, sending the first bit, we need to in the same frame we need to send the second bit, third bit, fourth bit, and so on, so that only the complete frame will be transmitted from the station A to station D, something like this, right? Now here what is the meaning of this one is, if transmission is completed, so it means that after sending the first bit the transmission is completed, no, right? We need to send the remaining this bit value also, right? Something it is 0, and it means that transmission is not completed. Collision also not detected, right? Something like this. Now what is meaning of this one? It is no, right? If it is no means what we can able to do is we can send the or transmit the next bit of the data from the first frame, right? So and we can receive, that is nothing but the transmit and data, right? So it is keep on going, keep on going, keep on going based on the how much of bits you have in the particular frame, right? This point you need to remember. Now I think if any one of these activated, either this one or this one, something is happening, right? Now what we are going to do is if transmission is completed something, right? If it is something 0, any kind of the probability. Now if it is S means what we are going to do is we are going to check the collision is detected or not. See, internally this loop will be run for the multiple time periods, right? Once after all the data is received, then it is going to check for the collision detected or not. If not detected, then it means that all the data of bits is transmitted in the frame, so it is success. If not, collision is detected means what it will do, as we seen previously, if C is detected the collision, it will activate the jamming, so that A will not send the remaining bits of data. If A activate the jamming signal, then C will not send the remaining bits of the data, something like this. Now what we have to do is the total procedure will be stopped, right? Now what it will do is, at the first time what we have done, we have activated the first attempt, right? Now we are going to make the next attempt, nothing but the 0 plus 1 is nothing but the second attempts we are going to make, right? So before going to the second attempts, first we need to check the whether k is greater than k max. So 15, right? K max value. See, if you don't understand these things, so please try to watch the pure Alahova protocol. There I have explained the in details why required random time, what is requirement of backup time, everything I have explained clearly, right? So please watch that video if you don't understand what is the meaning of these three things, right? So now if it is reaches to the atoms greater than 50, now we need to stop the operation, abort the operation. If not, right, we can try for the one more attempt, right? So for that attempts, what we have to do is we need to take the random number, that value will be binary exponential value between in terms of 0 to 2 power k minus 1 value, right? So once it is done, we have the propagation time, right? So from the start to end of the channel, right? So the amount of the time it will take from the transmitter to the receiver, right? So that time nothing but the propagation time period into, we are waiting for the some random amount of the time period, right? Right, this is nothing but the R value. So if you multiply these two things, you will be getting the backup time. It means that after collision is detected, jamming is activated, we need to wait for this time before going to make the next attempt, right? Now after this backup time is completed, now we are applying the any one of the persistent method, again you are repeating the same procedure, right? So this is the procedure we are using in the CSMA CD, carrier sense multiple access collision detection, right? So in the next class we will try to understand the CSMA CA, collision avoidance. I hope you understand. Thank you guys.